When going to build your video content strategy, chances are you've probably heard that having the right systems in place, having habits to help you be consistent, and having goals to guide your strategy are all very important parts of your plan. But what I often find is that the difference between all of these three things get really muddled, and people focus so much on creating content that they forget about the systems that need to be in place to help support you for reaching your goals with video content. So in this part of the Back to Basics series that I've been doing over on the Shine Online podcast and over on my Shine with Natasha YouTube channel, we are going to be talking all about systems, habits, and goals, and how you can implement them in your strategy to help you save time, optimize your energy, and show up consistently with video, which is like the dream. That is what we all want. So first things first, it's really important for us to break down the difference between goals, systems, and habits, because these are going to be all the pieces that are going to support you with getting results with your video strategy. Speaking of results, let's break down what a goal is. A goal is the result that you're aiming to achieve with your video strategy. Inside my signature program, the Video Content Camp, the first thing I have all my campers do is a strategy self-assessment. This is where not only you identify the goals that you're going to be working towards, but you also identify your strengths, which I'm going to talk more about once we get into systems and habits. Because when we see exactly what we're working towards and we're leaning into the amazing skill set that we already have, that is the magic formula for actually sticking with video in a way that feels really good. So common goals that you've maybe seen is community growth, brand awareness, or actual conversions in sales from social media. But what I teach inside the camp is actually two different types of goals that you want to zero in on. First, we have our tangible goals. And these are the types of goals that you can quite literally measure with numbers, with analytics and insights, but also with just numbers behind it. So if one of your goals is to be consistent on Instagram, you would want to put a number on how often you're wanting to post Instagram Reels each week. So you can quite literally measure that tangible goal. But then we have our intangible goals, which are just as important. This is something that you can feel or experience, like video content feeling more fun, more easy, or you actually enjoying the process of showing up. Or it could just be having a confident boost on how you're appearing in your video content. Once you identify your goal, you can then identify what systems you need, which essentially a system is a process for achieving that goal. And so this is essentially how you're doing all the video content things in your strategy. And it's really important that you don't just focus on the goal that you're working towards, but you focus on the system that will actually get you there. So many times I see people wondering why video content is so hard for them, so frustrating, why they're not consistent, why they're not seeing results. And it really all boils down to your systems. As someone who used to be a social media manager and I was managing content for so many other clients, including my own, systems were vital to ensure that I was implementing the strategy and working towards the goals that we set. So this is exactly how systems can look in your strategy. First, we have the actual tools, the toolbox. And a common mistake I see people saying is that, having an Airtable content calendar is the system, but you want to establish what the system, what that process is first, and the tool will just help you facilitate it. So a tool can be the place that you are planning or outlining or creating your content ideas. This can also be the place that you're actually creating your content. This could be a tool like a tripod. This could be a tool like an editing tool, or it can be Canva templates for your cover photos. And your tool should also help you have a place, a home for your completed content to go. This could be a scheduler, this could be a content calendar, this could be a Drive or Dropbox folder. When you have all of these three things checked off, you're able to be organized when you're creating content. And even if you're not an organized person or you're an overly organized person, these are things people often have missing in your strategy. And the other part of your system is actually identifying what that process is. So this is breaking down what are the tasks you're actually doing for the video content that you want to create, and what is that workflow from start to finish. That is exactly what I guide you through inside the video content camp, from ideating to actually editing and publishing that piece of video content. But you really want to get clear on what that process is so you can build the systems to support it. And then we have a habit. This is that regular practice, that routine that should be easy for you to do on a regular basis. This is what is going to help you consistently maintain that system and work closer and closer to your goal and actually create the video content. You can have the best systems in place, but if it's not a habit for you to consistently do them, it's not going to happen. And so this is why you are not broken if it's always been a struggle for you to stay organized, to post consistently, or to create video content. So now I kind of want to show you what habits look like in action. And spoiler, if you've listened to the podcast before, these are not going to be new to you. First, we have a content day. And I have an entire episode on how I facilitate my own content day. I have a content day checklist in that episode that I'm going to link in the show notes for you. But essentially, a content day is setting a period of time for you to focus on content. And it's so easy for business owners to get so caught up in doing all the things in our business that we forget to prioritize content creation for video as a marketing task, as something that's generating money and moving the needle forward for our business. And so that's really where a content day comes in. And that's essentially a habit. You're setting a reoccurring time for you to sit down and do the video things and use your systems. And I actually got a really great question from one of my community members of like, how do I actually plan for a content day? And that is actually using my systems, right? I have a place that I'm storing all of my content ideas. I have all my tools in place for sitting down and actually creating the content. And I have it as a habit, as a workflow, as a process. All the things that I'm talking about are the things that I go through whenever I'm creating a new piece of video content. So for example, for this episode that's becoming a video, I sat down and I thought of my idea. I outlined what I was going to be talking about, which I'm referencing as I'm recording this. And I had a day dedicated to batching all of this content. And so that is my process. That is my workflow. I have my tools, like where my ideas are and the video camera and tripod that I'm using. But these are all things that you want to set up in your systems, and your habit is just what helps you maintain it consistently, like a content day. And another way to do this is content stacking, which you've heard a lot of variations of in my content. This is when you're walking into your office or doing routines in your day, like coaching, packaging orders, making your matcha, you're setting your phone up and you're filming video content. Essentially taking things you're already doing, whether it's related to video content, like I'm already brainstorming ideas, so let me outline what I want the video to look like, or it can be as simple as every day when I make my matcha, I'm going to set my phone up and get video stock content. So whatever it is, you want to make sure that if you're wanting to prioritize creating video content, you're just integrating it into what you're already doing. And that is the key to being consistent on video. It really is that simple. So if you've been disappointed in your results with your video strategy, you're wanting to post more consistently, or you're just wanting to create your first piece of video content, these are the three things that are really important that are working together. So we identify what is the goal, the result that you're working towards, what is the system or the process that's going to help you get there, and then what is the habit, the regular practices and routines that you are going to implement that is going to help you maintain your system and get closer to your goal. When all these three things are working together, this is how you see results. But when just one is out of balance, this is why you might be struggling. You are human. It is totally normal and it is fixable. It is really easy and simple to work through all of these things. And the Video Content Camp is an amazing resource to help you get there. So I definitely recommend checking out more details about this program. If you're like nerding out about all this systems talk, we have an entire module dedicated to systems. Overall, my goal with content like this, or when you join my camp program, is that we're not being more productive to create more and do more content, but essentially so we can spend less time on social media and more on the places in our business and our life that we really care about. That's really what all this dials down to. So I hope you've really been enjoying this Back to Basics series. Be sure to go back to the previous episodes that we've done on this, on content pillars and profile experience. And I can't wait for you to see the next part of the series.